Every world believes it will last forever. Tartessos was wrong. For 300 years, a civilization in southern Iberia grew rich beyond measure. Its people worked the silver mountains of the Sierra Morena and smelted copper into ingots that reached the harbors of Tyre and Sidon. Greek writers called them the most prosperous people west of Italy. And then, they vanished from history, leaving behind gold and silence. The Guadalquivir River Valley in modern Andalusia was the heartland of Tartessos. By 1000 BCE, the people here controlled the richest metal deposits in the Western Mediterranean. Silver, tin, and copper, the metals that empires are built on. These were not merely traders making a living. They were the gatekeepers of the ancient West's mineral wealth, and they prospered accordingly. When Phoenician merchants from the distant Levantine coast arrived around 800 BCE, they found a kingdom ready to trade. The Phoenicians founded Gadir, modern Cadiz, on a narrow island just off the coast, the westernmost outpost of their entire trading network. In exchange for Tyrian purple dye, glass beads, ivory, and luxury goods from Egypt and Assyria, they loaded their ships with Tartessian silver. The Bible itself mentions ships of Tarshish that brought silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks to the court of King Solomon. Many scholars identify Tarshish with Tartessos. The treasure that survives is extraordinary. In 1958, workers digging foundations near Seville uncovered the El Carambolo hoard, 21 pieces of pure gold weighing nearly 3 kilograms, 6 golden pectorals, bracelets, and a necklace decorated with intricate granulation, filigree, and geometric motifs. Each piece was crafted with techniques that rival the finest Phoenician goldwork. It was the kind of wealth that belonged to a king or to a temple dedicated to a god. The Greeks knew that king's name, Argenthonios, derived from Argyros, the Greek word for silver. They said he reigned for 80 years and lived to 120. When Phocaean Greek merchants landed on his shores in the 6th century BCE, he invited them to stay, offered them territory, and reportedly warned that the Tartessians feared the Persians would one day arrive in Iberia too. The prophecy was accurate, but the threat came from an unexpected direction. Tartessos left behind more than precious metal. At Cancho Roano in Extremadura, a rectangular stone complex rises from the plains of the Guadiana Valley. Part temple, part palace, part tomb. Built in 3 distinct phases between 600 and 400 BCE, it was deliberately sealed and buried before its inhabitants left forever, as if performing a ritual farewell to their own culture. The Tartessians also developed one of Europe's earliest writing systems. 90 stone stelae survive, carved across the southwestern Iberian landscape with a script that linguists call Southwestern Paleo-Hispanic, or Tartessian. Half of its signs read as syllables, half as discrete letters, a semi-syllabary that remains only partially understood. No scholar has fully deciphered it. Their own voice on stone, still unreadable after 2,500 years. Recent excavations have dramatically changed the picture. At the Turuñuelo site in Badajoz, archaeologists in 2023 uncovered 5 terracotta busts, the first Tartessian human faces ever found. One depicts a woman wearing an enormous earring, her expression calm and commanding. Another shows a warrior with almond-shaped eyes. These were not abstract fertility idols or generic cult figures. They were portraits of named individuals, rendered with striking naturalism. Then around 500 BCE, the civilization simply stopped. The mines still held silver. The fields still bore grain. But the great buildings were abandoned piece by piece. The writing on the stelae ceased entirely, and the ports along the Guadalquivir fell silent. What happened to a kingdom that had traded with 2 continents? Theories point in different directions. The Carthaginians conquered the region and systematically dismantled the Phoenician trade network that had sustained Tartessian wealth for 3 centuries. The Guadalquivir River Delta was silting up, slowly closing the inland ports that made the kingdom accessible to Mediterranean shipping. Or perhaps the civilization did not collapse at all. It simply evolved, absorbed into the rising Iberian cultures of the interior, its identity fading rather than breaking with violence. Plato wrote of a great island civilization that sank into the sea in a single day and a single night. Some have wondered if Tartessos was his inspiration. The geography is roughly right, the timeline matches. But no flood destroyed Tartessos. Something far more ordinary and deeply human ended it. A silence that fell across the Guadalquivir Valley, and a story that survived only in fragments carried on the tide. Another world remembered. Walk the next one with me.